Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a good night. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and today on drboycetv.com, I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I think is pretty serious. It has to do with a rapper by the name of D1, and he made some comments about an event in Philadelphia called Gillie Fest that's going to feature a lot of different hip hop artists. And he actually said something about violence and the link between the music that we listen to and the violence that we experience. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you a Dr. Boy breakdown. I'm going to share with you what D1 said and just kind of hear your thoughts on this because I think that this is an important conversation our community needs to have. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hello, guys. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I want you guys to let me know if you can hear me okay. Give me a yes if you can hear me all right, and you can see me in the chat. Hey, what's going on? Super Savage Spirit and Willie Anderson and Robert Simmons. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so let's jump right into it. I was sort of looking at some stuff that I saw online that I thought was worth discussing because, as you guys know, one of the most important things about Black people is that we have to understand how our music impacts us. We have to think about the things that are being done. Sorry, the things that are being done to harm us, the things that are being done to kill us, the things that are being done to make sure that our people don't succeed. And I'm gonna just tell you like this, man. They did a number on y'all when it comes to music. Y'all, they did a number on y'all when it comes to music. They did a number on y'all when it comes to music. You know, I'll tell you what, hip hop is one of the most creative and most powerful art forms in the history of all mankind. And I really believe that somebody in the CIA, because this is what they do, y'all, go look it up. There's evidence of this. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here. The CIA, I believe somebody in the CIA said, okay, those Negroes listen to music. They listen to music. They listen to pastors and their favorite pastor. They listen to celebrities. So if we want to control Black people and we want to get them to do what we need them to do, which is basically kill each other off, we're going to go ahead and really get to the music. And I'm going to tell you what, there's a guy who really seems to understand this very well. His name is D1. D1 is not only just a super talented hip hop artist. When I'm talking about talent, I'm talking about extremely talented, but he also happens to be a strong Christian. He's a Black man. He's an honorable Black man. He's a very intelligent Black man. And he's actually at Harvard University right now. He's actually representing and teaching hip hop at Harvard, and he earned this. He earned this, through experience and success. He went on to Sway's show, Sway in the Morning, and did the freestyle and just killed it. And he's super talented. He's super committed to what he does, and he's also a friend of mine and a guy that I respect tremendously. Well, anyway, so there was an interesting little thing that kind of happened where D1 ran into. I think a little controversy here. There's another show. Anybody seen? This is a good podcast, from what I understand, run by 2 guys named Gillie the Kid and Wallow, called $1 Million Worth of Game. Is anybody familiar with that podcast? Well, anyway, $1 Million Worth of Game with Gillie the Kid and Wallow is a very just a really good content, in my opinion, because I like the fact that they help educate young people. They help them understand the long-term effects of the mistakes that you make. Our community is short of father figures. We don't have a lot of fathers. For some reason, fatherhood fell out of style. But I believe, give me a yes in the chat if you believe that we need to make fatherhood, put that back in style. Give me a yes in the chat if you agree with me that we need all the men. We need all hands on deck. Every Black man who cares about the community to step up, give advice, and give that $1 million worth of game. Because I personally think if we all give $1 million worth of game, we can give $1 trillion worth of game. Because I get up in here and I do my best to give y'all $1 million worth of game to give honest commentary and perspective on things. You know, my father was from the streets. Both of my fathers were hooked on drugs. I don't know if y'all know this or not. My biological father stayed on drugs. My father that raised me got off of drugs. He got off of heroin. My father, he's killed people. He's been in the street. He done did it all. And he gave me $1 million worth of game growing up. And that's how I'm able to do what I do to this day. That's why I'm not scared of nobody. That's why I'm ready to do what I do. And I do it every day and I do it consistently. And you can't talk me out of it because I was given my version of $1 million worth of game a long time ago. And so anyway, long story short, let me kind of break down to you what I saw that really led me to have this conversation. So D1 did a video. And I'm going to play this video for you guys. And he made a comment about something related to what they call the Gillie Fest. So there's apparently an event in Philadelphia called the Gillie Fest. And Gillie, I guess his birthday and stuff like that. And Gillie, he's popular and stuff like that. I met Gillie once. I met him in Philly at the Urban Youth Racing School. They have a Grand Prix every year. We were driving these go-karts, racing NASCAR drivers, and they had celebrity drivers and stuff like that. And I don't see myself as a celebrity, but I guess maybe somebody does. So I was one of the celebrity drivers, and a lot of great people were there. A lot of really cool people were there. Smart people were there. And Gillie was one of those people. So that was where I met Gillie. We talked briefly. I don't know him beyond that. I know people that know him very well, people that have known him for 30 years, but I don't know Gillie and Wallow at all. I just know that I respect what they do on their podcast. Well, with this Gillie Fest, it happens to be coming right after a time where Gillie's son got killed. Now, if I'm not mistaken, his son went by a name YNG Cheese. Let me see. Let me make sure. I want to say his real name. I'm going to call him YNG Cheese. I should have his name in front of me. What's his YNG Cheese, but he should. I know he's a rapper and all that, but Devin Spady, it looks like, and he's a young brother, too young to die. And I don't know. Give me a yes if you also agree that you're tired of seeing your young people get killed. Give me a yes if you agree that it's just kind of when you hear about this kind of thing, it just kind of bothers you and makes you feel like, man, it doesn't have to be this way. I'm hoping that one day we can get past this. I don't like the fact that we have music that glorifies the murder and the death of Black people. I thought that was the job of the KKK. I thought that was the job of, the right wingers and the neo-Nazis to kill Black men. I didn't know that was our job. We take it. We doing the white man's job. I'm serious. I don't understand. I thought killing Black people was the job of the enemy. I didn't know that was going to be our job. And shit, we doing the damn job better than they doing the job. I mean, seriously, you don't know what I'm talking about? Like, it's crazy to me. Yeah, not only will we do the job better than they do the job, but then we'll sing and dance about the job. We'll sing and dance about how great of a job we do. I'm gonna kill that dog. I'm gonna kill that dog. Like, there was a rapper, a great, really talented artist by the name of Young M.A. And Young M.A., y'all might know, if you're a fan of hip hop, you know who she is. She's super talented, but I don't know what pronouns. I'm trying, I promise, but I ain't no kid. I'm going to call her she, but if you know her, you'll know that I use that term very loosely. But anyway, Young M.A., super talented artist. I saw her music before she was unsigned, and I saw her video, and I put her video on my old Facebook page. I keep getting constantly banned by Facebook and Instagram because they, if I was a thug, they probably want my stuff everywhere. But because I'm an intelligent Black man, I get banned left and right. So anyway, I just, that's the second Facebook page I lost. The previous one had about 600,000-700,000 people on it. And I put Young M.A.'s video on my page. And I said, this young lady's very talented, but why is it that we have to rap about killing each other? Like, where these young people, they have their whole life in front of them. Who's telling them that that's the first thing you got to rap about? I mean, you could be rapping about a million different things. You could be rapping about the flowers and the trees. You could be rapping about the birds and the bees. You could be rapping about nickels and dimes and chicken and jet skis and airplanes. But yet the first thing we talk about is how many Black people we want to murder. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand how mentally ill that is? That literally the first thing that will come out of the mouth of a lot of artists is something about killing another Black person. And we think it's normal. The reason we think it's normal is because we got the white people and the Zuckerbergs and the Funderbergs and the other Bergs that are in money for us to kill each other and enjoy it. That's what it is. It's all about money, right? So if you ever want to know why I talk about this kind of thing, it's because I understand money. My PhD is in finance. I understand the power of money, and I know what money does in terms of causing people to do things that are outside your soul. Money causes you to make decisions that make any damn sense. It's what causes your politicians to do stupid things, even if the American people don't want them to do it. It's always about the money, man. It's always about the money. So anyway, I'm gonna share this video with D1 that he made about Gillie Fest, and I'm gonna tell you about the controversy that's going on with this. I talked to D on the phone, and we discussed it. And he may even pop into this podcast. I said to him, hey, man, I'm gonna send you the link, let you know I'm gonna talk about it and see how you feel. But I'll kind of talk through it. So let me just share what he said. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. By the way, you're watching drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I'm also on Spotify. We have over 1.2 million followers on YouTube. We have millions still on Facebook, even though Facebook killed a couple pages. They didn't kill them all because they don't know where I live at. Also, we're all over the place. So if you'd like to follow us on Spotify, just look up my name on Spotify. You can find me there. We don't die, we multiply. So they can ban my page if they want to, but they can't stop my platform. It's too strong. All right, so let's keep going. Here's the video with D1, and I want to get y'all's thoughts about this. Leave your comments in the chat. Here we go.
Might not be popular to say, but I'm 100% sincere when I say it. To the artist performing at Gillie Fest this weekend, his son just got murdered less than a week ago. Please read the room. Do not go on that stage performing songs where you glorifying murder, you glorifying gun violence, you glorifying drug dealing, you glorifying the streets, or you glorifying using the gun to get even with somebody by shooting them. Yo, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. This man is still grieving. Your presence is meant to restore some form of happiness and joy. Don't pour salt on an open wound. Pick another song to perform. And if you don't have any songs in your catalog that's not glorifying murder and glorifying the streets, you might need to sit this one out. You got to really think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I just think about when my best friend got murdered and I went back after the funeral and started listening to that music, all of a sudden stuff that was glorifying gun violence hit different because it hit closer to home. Don't put Gillie through that. If you're going out there, this man is throwing a festival less than a week after his son got murdered. Yo, just think about why you're there. You're not there to continue to perpetuate and glorify what he's going through with losing his son to gun violence. I say that with love. I mean it.
All right. So, how many of you liked his statement? What do y'all think? How do you feel about what he said? Do you feel like he was overstepping his boundaries, or do you feel like he was right to say what he said? Do you feel that it was a problem at all? Because I'm just going to say this, and I'm not going to say too much, but I will say that it was kind of mixed. I think that there were a lot of people who loved what he said, who appreciated it, because I know a lot of y'all are just tired of the nonsense. But then there were some people who felt like it wasn't appropriate, that maybe there was a perception that perhaps he was leaning into the unfortunate death of Gillie the kid's son as an opportunity to say something publicly. I thought it was a good statement, though, and I know D, and I know he's a guy that would not ever say anything to be deliberately malicious toward anybody. Now, here's the point I want to make on this. Here's what I am. This is the reason why I'm doing this conversation. I really think that we need somebody in this industry who's got the balls to just say, stop it. Like why in the hell? Really, seriously. Do you understand? Give me a yes in the chat. Please give me a yes. Do we at least understand how influential hip hop music is? Like, do we really believe? Like, do you really believe that you can mass market an idea in a very influential way that impacts the subconscious mind, and that it has no influence on human behavior? Do you really believe that? How many of y'all believe that hip hop has an influence on how kids behave and what they think and what they do? Anybody? Let me, and if you're not sure, let me help you with this. My wife is an expert on the subconscious mind, and we talk about this kind of thing, but let me read a couple of studies to you. There was a study that showed that marketing techniques, particularly those used in fashion and beauty industry, significantly influence adolescent body image and self-perception. This was from 2014. There's a 2010 study that says research indicates that marketing strategies used by alcohol brands can impact the drinking behavior of young people, suggesting a direct link between exposure to alcohol marketing and youth alcohol consumption. There's another study in 2013 that said that fast food advertising influences children's food choices. It concluded children exposed to these types of advertisements were more likely to choose the advertised meals. There's another study that explores the impact of marketing violent video games on adolescents' aggressive behavior. The research found a significant correlation between exposure to this kind of marketing and increased aggressive behavior in youth. So now that I've gotten the common sense out of the way, now that we've found out that water is wet, because that's all it is. This is some damn water is wet analysis. This is nothing groundbreaking. This is not shocking to you. The idea that advertising actually works. You really think corporations would spend billions of dollars trying to influence your behavior if it did not work? Do you understand that hip hop is one of the most effective forms of advertising in the history of all advertising? Do you know this? Do y'all understand this? Part of the reason rappers get paid so well is because they can convince black people to do stuff. Here, go see Jake the Jeweler. Go buy some. That's why Jake the Jeweler sitting next to some Negro smiling because he knows the influence. He understands the power of the words of a rapper. So if Jake the Jeweler can use that influence to sell overpriced jewelry, then what do you think happens when we have music that is promoting Molly's and Percocets, that's promoting disrespect to women, that's promoting killing your own damn brother, that's promoting all kinds of behavior, economically irresponsible behavior that is sinking the black man in every way imaginable? Why is it so radical to bring that up in a conversation? Why is it so radical to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't allow this to be done to our people? Because I don't think Jewish people will let you do that. Jewish people aren't going to let your black ass go and own a Jewish record label and make music for Jewish youth, and then do the Jewish TV awards every year. This is the culture, for the culture, y'all, for the culture. They wouldn't let you do that. They would come there. They would show up at your front door and kick you in your ass. That's what they would do. They would literally shut you down. They would drop you like Kanye. Kanye, I remember I was on the phone with Kanye when JP Morgan Chase sent him several notes saying, get your money, your dirty ass money out of our bank. You have until Tuesday. If you don't get this money out by Tuesday, then we're going to write you a cashier's check for $100 and blah, blah, blah $1 million to take your money out of our bank because we don't even want your money. So what I'm saying to you is that you got to have some standards, man. We have to have some standards. And the reason I will rock with D1 until the end of time is because D1 is a guy who he's bound by blood for what he does. He had a really good friend who got murdered, and that's what led him to really examine the music and what messages are being sent in the music. I had a best friend that got murdered. My friend Greg Wilkins in Louisville, Kentucky. About it, the fact that we act like it doesn't matter is atrocious. It's embarrassing. I think other communities look at us. I talked to a guy when I was in the Uber the other day, and this guy, can y'all hear me now? I don't know what the hell's going on with this hotel Wi-Fi. See, whenever I'm on the road, I'm at a hotel, and it makes the Wi-Fi act weird. So I'm not going to stay on here for too long because apparently I need better Wi-Fi. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a yes if you can hear me. Okay, I apologize. But anyway, I was talking to a guy, and I think he was from Pakistan, and he married an African American, and he was basically saying, he said, I just really want to be honest with you about what I see with black people. And I said, yeah, you can be honest with me. I don't get offended easily. And he said, and he was basically saying, I don't understand a lot of the stuff you do. He said, in our culture, where I'm from, we would never allow these things. We would never allow people to talk about us like that. We would never allow music that portrays us this way. We don't treat our women like this, and I really think it makes the black man look like the ultimate bitch. It really makes the black man look like the ultimate bitch, and it makes black women look crazy. I think these stereotypes that you're fulfilling by trying to get a record deal, trying to get some label to sign you, it's really embarrassing. And I'm talking about on the male and the female side. It becomes nothing but it becomes sideshow Bob. It literally becomes it's a big minstrel show. And you are engaged in buffoonish behavior because we're all competing to see who can impress the white man the most. And then when he picks you out of the pile and you get this record deal, he parades you to the rest of us as if you're some sort of symbol of black success. When really, to be honest with you, unfortunately, some of y'all are the greatest symbols of social, cultural, and psychological failure and spiritual failure in the history of mankind. You got a couple of dollars in the bank, but even that ain't gonna last because they got you stuck on stupid. So your money's gonna disappear too. And then on top of that, you might end up, in jail, like Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend, whatever his name was, Tory Lanez. This guy, he was the man at one point. Now he's the man in prison. And I would just tell you that I think with this music, I think that it's important we have these critical conversations. I'm glad D1 made the statement that he made. I'm glad that he ruffled some feathers because I think that out of respect for this young brother that died, I think it's really important that we become intelligent enough to dissect the culture that leads to these kinds of outcomes. I'm gonna tell you, Philadelphia is one of the few cities in my mind that looks as bad as Chicago when it comes to just becoming the killing fields. Like Chicago used to get all the headlines for all the killing that we do in Chicago, and it's very, very high. It's very, very bad. It's a result of the breakdown of the family. It's a result of the breakdown of economic systems. It's a result of a shitty educational system, and it's also a result of the fact that you're madly in love with white people. You're madly in love with white people because despite the fact that you watch your communities fall apart, despite the fact that your kids ain't being educated, despite the fact that there's no hope in your communities, you haven't disconnected, you haven't dissected, you haven't divested from your commitment to the very systems that are destroying you. So to some extent, our being madly in love with white people leads us to say, despite the fact that there's no evidence whatsoever that being a part of these systems is going to benefit my community, I'm still going to show up and do the exact same thing over and over and over again. I will vote for the same politicians. I will support the same schools. I will be part of the same systems, even though I end up being in last place every single time. So, because you got to ask yourself, why is it that your communities are falling apart and nobody else's are? I'm not saying that there aren't poor white people out here. For sure, there are poor white people. But this idea that somehow blackness is defined by hood culture, and hood culture is the most mass marketed culture out here, and it leads to all these terrible outcomes. I'm talking about young single mothers with no help from the father of the child, children that are emotionally traumatized because they don't have parents protecting them. So these kids are getting shot, killed, and molested at an early age. Fathers who are out here getting locked up left and right, getting shot up, all these crazy outcomes happening. Well, guess what? If we did basic things like make sure our kids got a good education and we did it ourselves, that would prevent a lot of this. Well-educated kids who have a skill, like even if it's a skill like being a plumber or carpenter, they don't go out in the street thugging, kill people. They just don't. They got something to do. They got better. They got to go to work that day. They got clients they got to see that day. They ain't thinking like, who am I going? Where am I going to go get into something today? They're not thinking about that, right? So really, I think that what D1 said is right on point. I want to publicly support him 100%. I think the Gillie Fest. I hope the Gillie Fest is great. I hope it's awesome. But I really think that the artists have to acknowledge that the culture that you promote, the one that these folks pay you to promote, that's directly responsible for the death of a lot of the people that you care about. And it's not going to stop until you stop. It's not going to end until you stand up. You can't act like, oh, well, I'm just making my music. I'm just talking about my experience. And no, you're not. You're not even being an artist. You're not even expressing the artistry at that point. Artistry is when you express the range of human emotions. Being an artist is when you have a diversity of experiences that you reflect on. Being an artist means maybe one song I'm rapping about what it's like to be a father. Another song I'm rapping about the time I got broke, my girlfriend left me. Another song I might rap about some rage I felt toward a cousin and almost killed him. Maybe another song I might rap about when I got my first job, right? Whatever. I'm just mixing it up, right? I'm talking about the range of humanity. But no, what the corporation does, and again, I'm a finance professor, so I understand corporations. I understand money very well because I studied money. I'm an expert on money. What the money does is the money says, no, Negro, we don't want to hear about you rapping about your firstborn child. We want to hear you rapping about slinging, about being in the trap. We want you rapping about, I'm gonna kill that Negro. Better not say I'm gonna kill that Jew. You better not say I'm gonna kill that gay man. You better not say I'm gonna go kill that white man. You can't say that. You say that, we'll take you off the air. Think about this. Has anybody ever noticed that? that if you, whenever an artist, like when Jay-Z made a lyric about Jewish people, they shut shit down immediately. They're like, nigga, Negro, you can't even say our name. Oh, you think you powerful? No, you're powerful in their world. In our world, you just a Negro. We gonna shut you. We removing that whole entire verse. Y'all remember that? Y'all know what I'm talking about? But if you rap and you say the craziest, you can say the craziest thing about black women. People won't say a word. You say the craziest thing about killing black people, they won't say a word. They will cheer you on. They will give you money. They will put you on stages around the world just so you can mass market how much you hate your women, how much you hate your own children, how much you hate your community, how much you hate your brother, how badly you want to kill other black people, how you want to kill black people more than the KKK. We got these Klansmen hip hop artists out here getting paid by everybody from the Democratic Party to all these white folks, to these corporations, and nobody's saying a word about it. And when I say getting paid by the Democratic Party, what I mean is that when the Democrats are trying to get elected, they will go do interviews and will do performances with artists who have specifically and explicitly rapped extensively about the murdering of other black people. So if they are aligning themselves, pay attention now. Do you hear what I'm saying? I need y'all to hear me. If they are aligning themselves with the very people who have rapped extensively about killing you, what does that say about them? Do you think they go to the transgender community and they say, we want to go get with an artist who raps about killing trans people? Do you think, I mean, seriously, I'm asking y'all a real question here. Give me an answer. What do y'all think? Do you think that they'll do that? Do you think they would go to the LGBT community and be like, we want to find the person who hates gay people the most, and we're going and we want to sit with him and make him a political ally? No, because maybe their community is also smart enough to say we don't support people who hate us. So I'm sitting here trying to say that, man, we got it backwards. This behavior is ridiculous. It's embarrassing, and I think what D1 said is awesome. I think that D1 should be, the reason D1 is not a well-known artist at the level that he should be. He's well-known. A lot of people know who he is, by the way. I hung out with him. He walks down the street and signs autographs and stuff like that, all that stuff. But, the reason he's not as big as he should be, and the reason Akilah Nihanda is not where I think she should be. Akilah, she's working with Rock Nation and stuff now, so we help get her in there. But for the most part, the reason they're not getting where they should be, is because they are so accustomed to black people showing up poisoned and sick that when a black person shows up healthy, they don't know what to do with that. They're like, wait a minute, it's a woman, but she don't want to pull her titty out. She ain't rapping about WAP. She ain't telling everybody that she's going to sell her vagina for $1.50 in a bag of Cheetos. Well, what are we going to do with that? We don't know what to do with you. You're uppity. You're acting uppity, India Ari. You're too uppity. That's why nobody likes you, because you're too much of a snob. And I resent that. I resent the idea that when a black person shows up healthy and beneficial to the community and intelligent and loving their family, loving the community, wanting to do right, wanting to make better choices, that they act like that person doesn't understand the black experience, or they act like that person's not connected to the culture. Well, if the culture consists, pay attention now, if the culture consists of a bunch of habits that lead to our children being blind, deaf, dumb, uneducated, dead, incarcerated, STDs, shot in the head, all fucked up in every single imaginable way, families broken, traumatized, I don't want anything to do with that culture. I love my kids, man. I love my kids. I don't want anybody I love be infected by a culture that wants them to die by the age of 25. I want a culture that wants my children to be smart. I want my culture to want my children to be ready. I want a culture that wants my kids to be on point. I want a culture that wants my kids to be free of alcohol and drugs and all those problems. I want a culture that wants my son to grow up and become a father and a grandfather. I want a culture that wants my daughter to be loved and respected and honored. I want a culture that wants us to be healthy, that wants my family and my children to live. That's the culture I want. I want them to live long, healthy lives where they understand what's going on. They're not sitting around with the white man's foot on their neck. They're not sitting around complaining about how hard it is to be broke, how hard it is to be black, how hard it is to be a single mom, how hard it is to pay child support, how hard it is to manage your STDs, how hard it is to manage a long list of mistakes, how hard it is to make it through the pen. I don't want that for my kids. I just don't. So any culture that is mass promoting this, in my opinion, I think somebody used that word simp. Pete Funkerson says that they're the same ones who accuse us of being simps when we say we love our black women. Well, I'm sorry, but really, at the end of the day, those are your simps. If you simping for the white man and you're so busy trying to tickle his balls that you will go and degrade your own family, that you will let him piss on your own territory and treat you like a $2 hoe, there is no bigger simp than that. So if you want to use the word simp, that is simp culture, because your whole life, you'll never be nothing. You'll always be the white man's bitch. That's what you're going to be. And all you'll be able to do is go through life and complain about how they have it all and you ain't got nothing. How they always ready and you never ready. How they always on point and you're not. How they always win and you lose. How they got the money and you ain't. How they got the success and you don't. How they have power and you're powerless. That's all you'll ever have. What bigger simp is there? Seriously. I mean, you don't talk about the word simp. Let's use that word. That's a fun word to use sometimes. If you don't talk about a simp, I believe America was structured to make the man into the white man simp. I believe this. Talking like this, by the way, that's the stuff that got my Instagram page taken down because they don't want to hear black people talking like this. But I'm not scared of you. I'm not going to stop. I'm just not. I can't. It's impossible. So I will say to y'all, especially the men, you got to get ready for war. And a good soldier is not sitting around always high and always drunk. A good soldier does not show up unprepared to go for the battlefield. A good soldier does not show up so emotional that he can't be strategic. A good soldier does not show up trying to make friends and trying to fit in and trying to integrate with the enemy. A good soldier doesn't forget about who he's protecting. A good soldier ain't gonna get caught slipping to the point where they can literally stick a wooden spork up your ass because you too busy partying and drinking and chasing women. A good soldier shows up with his resource intact. A good soldier is counting his blessings and protecting the blessings at the same time. That's what a good soldier does. And the problem that you have as a community is that you have lost a lot of your good soldiers because they never had nobody talk to them like this. They never. This is my $1 million worth of game. This is the Boyce Watkins version. It don't come from hip hop. It don't come from like I love those guys. So I think I heard them talking to some guy about what it's like to spend 20 years in prison. I think, man, that's a hell of a lesson for them to give them. And the guy, I don't even think the guy listened. I think he still went off and did something and got himself locked up or killed. I don't remember what it was. So I love what they do. But guess what? My father, my daddy, gave me $1 million worth of game. And I didn't have to go to prison in order to accept those lessons. So when you talk to your kids, just tell them how this world really works. Don't have them get caught up in the illusion of inclusion. There are so many traps that are out there for black people. And these traps do not make us happy. We do not end up in a good place. We do not end up feeling healthy, successful, or empowered. We end up feeling left behind. We end up feeling mad. We end up feeling that we got a raw deal. We end up feeling like somebody's always above us. Somebody's always oppressing us. Well, I'm going to just tell you like this, from a strategic standpoint, part of the reason that you may end up feeling oppressed is because you position yourself for oppression. They prepare you. They soften you. They soften the target before they even come and get you. So stop being soft. Start being alert. Start being aware. So that's all I got to say about this. If y'all could do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Y'all know, again, this me talking like this. That's why sometimes I get banned from. So you won't see me on Facebook no more. I'm done investing in Facebook. But I do have I do have an Instagram page if you want to follow. We're going to start doing Stock Market Tuesdays there every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to go in and answer stock market questions. So if you want to go follow me at Dr. Boyce Finance, you can. Sorry, let me. I was trying to put it up on the screen. I can't even find the damn thing. Here we go, Dr. Boyce Finance. So you can follow me at Dr. Boyce Finance if you want to. Follow me on Instagram. And also, if you like to get stocks that I like, stocks that I'm buying, profit alerts, you can text the word stock to 31996. That's on the screen. I'll leave that on the screen. And also don't forget that we're going to do the All Black National Convention in Atlanta, October 20th through the 22nd. If you'd like to join us at the convention, where we are going to not just have a think tank of intelligent Black people, it's a family reunion. It's a lot of fun. And there will be pop artists there, but there'll also be, there'll also be some other people, thinkers and scientists and scholars and good people just there. So join us. Go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's the URL. So give me again. So let me go ahead and end this before they take me off the air again. All right, guys, you have a good day. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.